Good morning. It is 7:02 a.m. on Friday, March 4th, 2022. March 4th. That's like a sentence. March 4th, my minions, and bring me treasure. But not right now because I'm still in the middle of the video. When it's done. So, still Elden Ring. Always Elden Ring. More Elden Ring. Yeah. It is definitely the first. Well, maybe that's overstating it. I would say this is a game that has got its hooks in me more than any other that I can think of recently. Now, that's not to say that there aren't other video games that I've enjoyed and wanted to continue playing. Certainly, I have. But this one is the one that, more than anything else recently, has been the one to make me not want to do anything else and only that. But I have been doing some other things. And in particular, I'm going to try to not keep talking about it so much just because, for the people who aren't or can't playing it, you don't care. But boy. Oh, the Tarnished, no. Anyway, I did do some other things, though, yesterday, including watching Steven Spielberg's new version of West Side Story last night, which was another one of the Oscar-nominated best films, and in fact had a bunch of nominations for that one, and I like it. I definitely don't want to damn it with faint praise, so let me be clear. It's good. I think it's good. It's very good. Good job, Steven. So I just want to be very clear that if I get into some nitpicks here, I want to scale those with the overall sentiment of it's good and I liked it. Good job, Steven. There are some parts that I felt complicated at. Like, for one, this is a positive thing. It does a good job at justifying its existence, which is something that I have generally found is not the case with a lot of like the live action Disney remakes, where I just sort of feel like, but why though? Why does this need to exist other than to make more money? And of course, for Disney, it doesn't need any other reason than that. But in particular, I guess what this movie does is West Side Story, the original one, the 1957 one, it's not like we're watching it in a theater and filming the stage, but it's very stagey. Things take place in a lot of locations that feel very set-like, or where they're at all different than just a set. It feels very isolated from like the city. It doesn't feel like it's taking place in the middle of an actual New York City. Although as I recall, when we talked about that movie for our Watching 100 Movies podcast, the original one had some issues where like there were dance sequences where they're having them do it like on actual concrete, which is really bad for dancers, I guess. In any case, that's not what I'm talking about today. What I'll just say is that this movie does a really great job of making it feel like it actually takes place in a city, and that there's a lot of stuff going on. Things are very cinematized rather than feeling more stagey by comparison. And I think that is enough different that it feels like a reason to make the movie. I will say that while I think that is largely successful, there are points, mostly during the songs, where there feels a little bit like a tonal clash as a result. It's like I feel like the whole snap into song of just like, you know, I'm talking, but now I'm singing feels different when everything seems to be set more in a grounded location and not a stage for a stage musical. And so I will say that, like, sometimes that feels a little weird. I think that there's some really interesting changes to the structure of the story. There's a couple of songs that take place in a different order and even changes to who sings them. And I think that's really cool. Um, I like that about it for sure. And then there's also, of course, just the fact that they cast actual Puerto Ricans and other folks of the the Puerto Rican descent, or or probably other like South Americans, Central American, Caribbean countries as well. I didn't look up everybody, but the point being that the original West Side Story had a lot of people in makeup, and that wasn't great. There's an interesting, I'd say, more interesting than entirely successful. And you know what? I'm just talking about it. You know what? We're going to do watching 100 movies where we're going to talk more about it. But I guess what I'll say is it does a lot of interesting things to justify its existence. In the broad sense, it's very good. It is absolutely still a musical. If you are just steadfast in your opposition to musicals, I don't think this is going to be the one to convince you. But yeah, I mean, as someone who likes the original without necessarily feeling like it's a favorite, I think this one is also good. All right. And I'll leave it there. So I'll talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.